I ziplined into a 36-foot canoe. What's going on, YouTube family? It's your girl Victoria, and I figured today I want to talk about places that I've traveled and get y'all opinions on places that I should go next. I know in my last video I talked about my 10-year anniversary and my potential trips for this year, but this video is a little bit different because I'm just going to talk about some of the places that I've been internationally. I didn't do a lot of traveling when I was young, so it was one of my things that I knew I wanted to do when I got older, was traveling. I wanted to explore the world, see what other cultures had to offer. Well, not necessarily had to offer, but to see how they live and see the differences between the United States and other countries. And even some of the states in the United States are different from where I live now. And I've lived in Maryland and now I live in Georgia. So I've lived in two separate places. It is completely different cultures. Definitely a culture shock, I'll say, because I grew up one way and Georgia is way different, but I'll save that for another video discussing things like what made me move, which place I like better, things I may miss, things I love. I'll do that in another video, so y'all stay tuned. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But I appreciate all y'all love, y'all support, and everything. All of you guys watching, I appreciate all of it. But let's get into this video. The first place I'm gonna talk about, and I'm gonna put some pictures up, probably like maybe right here as I'm talking, just so y'all can see some of the pictures that I took and how I've grown, because this is going to be over the last 10 years, pretty much the places I've traveled with my husband. Well, the first place I'm going to talk about today is my honeymoon destination, where I went for my honeymoon. This was actually the first international trip I took. I had to apply for a passport, which was kind of stressful. Do y'all know that they wanted information on me from the 6th grade? Who keeps all that information? I couldn't imagine what it's like applying for a passport now during this pandemic, because I've heard some people have been waiting 6-8 months for a passport. I've even heard horror stories of people having to cancel their trips because they can't get their passport. So I guess I can't complain about that, but 6th grade? I don't have stuff from 6th grade. So it was a bit tricky, but we figured it out and I did get my passport. And for our honeymoon, we went to Cancun. And let's just say it was fun. It was relaxing. We stayed at the resort, Breathless maybe? I cannot remember. Or was it Sandals? I'm gonna have to look and see, and I'll definitely put it down on the bottom what the name of the resort was. Because this was definitely 9 years ago, 8 years. It was my honeymoon. We went to Cancun and it was by far the best experience for an international trip. I will say that I've learned over the years, so this is like my tip. Pay attention to what travel agent you use. We went to just some random travel agency that had an office where we were living back in Maryland, and we just booked a trip. We didn't research anything. We just went based off of their advice. They recommended a hotel. We explained to them just the things that we wanted, that we were newlyweds and we just wanted a nice, relaxing vacation. Gave us quotes. We paid for all of that, which was awesome. I don't know a travel agency that doesn't book your flight. We had to pay for our flight separately. And after I got more accustomed to traveling, I realized that we completely overpaid for that trip. Probably by about $1,000, I'll say. We overpaid a lot. I don't do that now. I'm a deal seeker. I book when deals are out, and that's how I do it. If the airline is having a sale, let's say I think Southwest right now is having a $39 sale. That's when I book. I'll look at what destinations are the cheapest, and if it's somewhere I want to go, I'll book it. If I don't, I'll wait for the next sale. But that's how I normally shop now. But back to Cancun. We did overpay for that trip, which no regrets. I absolutely love Cancun. We went and we rode ATVs. I have pictures of that. I'll put that on the screen. We did zip lining in the jungle. I think it was 12 or 13 zip lines through the jungle. That was so much fun. I'll post some pictures. And we did, a canoe swim. And if you guys have been following me for a little bit, you would know I cannot swim. The canoe was 36 feet deep. So I put on a life vest. I'm a thrill seeker, so I kind of do things I probably shouldn't have done. But there were lifeguards in the canoe. It was nothing, that was a big risk. I zip lined into a 36-foot canoe. Probably wasn't smart when you can't swim and all you got is a life vest. If I can find the video, I have a DVD of me and my husband ziplining into the water. If I can find it, I'm gonna post that footage in this video. I don't think I'm gonna find it. I have no clue where it is. Husband, he can't swim either, so he had on a life vest. I think I have a picture of him in his life vest, and it's like so tight. It's so fun. Cancun was fun. It was relaxing. We spent a lot of time on the beach, just enjoying each other. It was a perfect honeymoon. Every night we had a turn down service, so we would go to dinner. They would come in, they closed the curtains, they dimmed the lights, they put wine out, apples one day. It was wine and apples one day. One day it was a cheese platter and wine. And one day they left us like a whole chocolate platter. I mean, they were setting the mood right. They had it down pat. But they came in, they closed your curtains. They put your little rug out by the bed. They had a little rug they put out. They put your slippers by the bed, your robe, and then they always made these little decorative things out of towels. I don't know how to explain it, but most of the time they were like animals, so it would be like a swan, a dove, and they made it out of towels. It was so pretty. They put rose petals down. I'm definitely gonna look for some pictures for that one. That was really fun. I would highly recommend Cancun for a couple's trip. But our next destination was Punta Cana. This was actually a couple's trip. I actually went with a girl from college. She might be watching. Hi, boo. We went as a couple and this was super fun. Punta Cana was great. It had a lot of things to do, a lot of different excursions, adventures. I mean, they were selling them to you everywhere. But in Punta Cana, we had a wonderful room. I cannot remember the name of the resort we stayed at. We had a good time. Punta Cana was fun. My best advice for Punta Cana is bring some stuff for your stomach. For some reason, Punta Cana's food did not agree with my stomach there. So I've always felt like I was sick, and I tried to like have drinks to kind of overcompensate it, and it wasn't good. There were a lot of nights that I just had to go back to the room because my stomach just really bothered. And when I got back home, I talked to my father about it, and he was like, yeah, I had the same issue. Apparently in Punta Cana, they make their food different than America, and I guess it's a common issue. But the other couple that I was with did not have that issue, so I don't want to say it is definitely for sure a reason not to go to Punta Cana. I would never deter anybody from going on a destination they want to, but Punta Cana for me, I personally would not go back again just because of the issues I had with my stomach, which I felt like took away from just the vibe of Punta Cana. But I still had a lot of fun on this trip. I have fun on my trips anyway. The third place I've been is on a cruise. A lot of people say we don't want to go on cruises because we're going to be on a ship the whole time. It's going to be boring out in the middle of the water. No, not true at all. My husband was actually like that. He was like, no, I don't really want to go on a cruise. I just want to go to the destinations, you know, one at a time. But we decided, shout out to my travel agent because she's amazing. If y'all need a travel agent recommendation, make sure y'all hit me up because I had a bomb travel agent. I don't know if she's gonna watch, but you know you are. You're bomb. Anyways, she set up a Mother's Day cruise and had like a ton of people going. So I called her like last minute and I was about to book something else. I don't remember the whole details of it, but the original plan wasn't to go on that particular cruise. So we went, I called her up like, hey, I'm trying to, you know, book a vacation. And she's awesome. You could just tell her, you know, surprise me, or I want to go here, and she'll take care of you. Tell you what options, what she thinks. Like, she's well-traveled. She will give you the best advice. But this cruise was a Mother's Day cruise, and it was going to Cuba and Turks and Caicos. So I was excited for the Cuba part of this cruise because I was like, Cuba is like, they have an awesome culture. So I was super excited to go to Cuba. Unfortunately, I don't think that American citizens can go to Cuba anymore. I think that was stopped not too long after we got off the cruise. So I can't say I recommend you guys go there because I don't think we're allowed there. I'm not 100% sure, don't quote me. If you want to go to Cuba, of course, always look it up. Talk to your travel agents, you know, use the internet, use the international sites. I'm sure Cuba has a website just like Jamaica does, and it has all your information, especially related to COVID, getting in and out of the country, things like that. So always check that before you book because it's always going to have important information. So I'm not saying don't go to Cuba or you can't go to Cuba. All I'm saying is the last time I heard about it, they had canceled us going to Cuba. I don't want to quote it. Cuba was very different. We arrived at the cruise port, and in Cuba, when you go on a cruise, it is one of the only destinations that you have to have a passport. We had already had a passport because we had already traveled internationally. Side note, I would not recommend anybody traveling on a cruise without a passport. Don't do it. If you have an emergency on a cruise ship and you need to be flown out and back into the United States, it is going to be the worst thing ever to get back into the United States. Make sure if you travel internationally that you make sure you go with a passport to eliminate any problems. You do not want to get sick on a cruise and have to be evacuated and be stuck in a country with no passport. So, back to Cuba. Anyways, we get off the ship, and after waiting in line, I want to say for like 30, 45 minutes, it was a pretty big process getting through security in Cuba because you have to clear their customs in Cuba. So we knew that getting off, we knew that it was going to be it may have been a bit of a wait, which was fine. They're pretty strict getting in. They, normal stuff as if you're going through customs in America. That's the best way I can explain it. They check everything, stamp your passport, send you through. Then you go through and you have to convert your money. Well, you don't have to convert anything, but it's recommended you convert your money. So we had to wait in another line. By the time we got out all the lines, of course, you gotta use the bathroom. So this was like my first experience in Cuba. And mind you, this is their customs at their cruise port. They did not have running water. You could not flush the toilet and then wash your hands. They had a spigot that didn't work. That was definitely a culture shock, not to even have running water in the bathroom. I'll say I learned a lot. One of the other things that I just wanted to point out about how other countries live is in Cuba, they stand in line for their meat, and they are only allowed to go to the meat market once a week because it's only open once. You get your meat for the week. But this line was so long, and they explained to us to get your meat, you have to stand in this line. And you stand there for hours. It just showed me how privileged, I'm not going to speak for everybody else, but how privileged I am to be able to just go around the corner and get a pack of chicken. They have to shop for the week and wait hours. I mean, we're talking like 6 to 8 hours sometimes to get meat for the week, and it is still bare minimum. When we go and we can buy 5-10 pounds of chicken, they may get 2 or 3 for the week for their family. Big culture shock. So this video is getting a little bit long, so I'm gonna close this one out about my international trips because those are the 4 places, because I count Cuba and Turks and Caicos. I forgot to tell y'all how beautiful Turks and Caicos is. It is gorgeous. We didn't do anything when we got off the cruise. That was like our lazy day, and they had a Margaritaville. And you go up there, you get margaritas, and you have fun in the ocean. So it was a group of us. We all kind of hung out. We got some Jamaican food from some food place on the beach, and it was good too. So we had fun. That was more of like a beach day, and we got to enjoy the culture. We went to Margaritaville, had a couple margaritas, and just enjoyed the day. That was fun. But I'm gonna do my domestic travel in a future video. I have more domestic places that I've been than international, and I'm trying to change that in the future. Thanks again for tuning in. Again, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, because it only helps me and the channel out. I appreciate all y'all love, support, everything. Some of y'all calling me, texting me after y'all watching. It makes me feel good. I'm doing something that I like to do, makes me feel good. So make sure y'all keep tuning in and let me know what y'all want to see in the future. I got a couple of other video ideas, but y'all can always chime in. Let me know what y'all want to know, y'all want to see. I appreciate y'all. Bye.